What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 11 of the Shift.
I,
And if
I
you
knew
don't know
that one.
Spanish,
I knew
you
that
knew
one.
that one. Nick knew that one. Nick,
Straight A's in Spanish in college. Straight A's.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Hasta mañana.
See you
Hasta
tomorrow.
luego. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to
Like,
that later.
yeah.
Let's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Como estás, Nick?
Yeah. I'm doing
Oh,
good.
come on.
I'm doing good, right? I'm doing good. Am I doing good? How
It's
are you,
muy
right?
bien, bro. You
Yeah, muy bien.
respond with the
Muy bien.
muy
Well, I
bien.
was just doing the
Good
English
job.
version. I knew what it was, though. How are
That's
you doing?
embarrassing.
Yeah.
I am muy bien.
Muy
Very,
bien.
very. Yes. There we go. So this is episode 11 of The Shift. Your boy Francisco Rojas with my guy Nick Earnshaw, as we do every week. Nick, it's been a fun first month of baseball. We are sitting here May 4th. May the 4th be with you if you're a Star Wars fan. I'm not really too into that saying, but I'm just gonna say it just because look, it's only
You
one
have to.
time a year. Yeah.
You have to.
Nick, are you a
Once a
Star Wars
year.
guy, by the way?
I'm getting into it. My girlfriend's big into Star Wars, more than me. So I had to wake up with a May the 4th we be with you text today. So that was fun.
Right. So you have to. As long if your girl's doing it, you
Yeah.
gotta. Yeah,
She's into
I
it.
got
I've watched a couple of the movies. They're
right.
fine.
You should watch all of them. You should watch all of them.
They're fine. They're okay.
Anyway, so it's May the 4th. Again, it's been about 35 days of the baseball season so far, and it's been fun. A lot of fun stuff, Nick. A lot of stuff like the Pirates and the Rays. My God, we were sitting here, man. First week of baseball, like the Rays can't keep this up, and here they are, 26-6. I believe Jeff Passan tweeted out earlier, or maybe it was Bob Nightingale, whoever it was. They're 131-31 on that pace to win that. It's unbelievable.
Could you imagine if the team won like 100, even 110 games like this year, like 115, 100? If you get up there, like my goodness, like that pace is unreal. They're not going to sustain it. It's not going to happen. I don't see it happening.
we said that.
Listen,
we said that a month ago.
100 plus games, sure, but 130, that we're talking crazy. It's crazy town here on the Shift.
I like Crazy Town. Crazy Town's fun.
Crazy Town is fun.
So,
F is for fun and do stuff. Well, how'd the song go?
Here comes SpongeBob. Oh my God. It's Star Wars Day, sir.
Okay. All right, wrong day. Wrong day.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. All right. So as I was saying, Tampa Bay Rays, incredible start. Pittsburgh Pirates, incredible start. Also on the other end, the St. Louis Cardinals, the worst record in the National League, I believe. They have been horrible. I'm sure we'll probably get into them in some capacity at some point. As we, I'll give you a quick layout for the show today. So we're going to get into our open, of course, here in just about a minute or two. And then we get, of course, into the meat and potatoes section. This is like, it's unofficially official now. The meat potatoes, the meat of our show.
I had a burger before we came on. I did have a burger. Yeah. So I'm ready to go.
Good for you. Ask me if I care, as I was saying. We're going to get into our look. The monthly awards came out for Major League Baseball. The All MLB team as well came out for Major League Baseball. So we're actually going to get into some of our own monthly awards that was created by Nick Earnshaw. We're going to get into our MVP, Cy Young, Rookie, Most Improved, and All MLB biggest disappointment so far. So looking forward to that. And then we get into our all-time lineups with the Oakland Athletics. Woo! Jorge Earnshaw, is he on the team? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. That's exciting. And then we'll close out the show with a few bets, of course. So, Nick, let's start with, and we talked about this earlier, so we knew we were going to have some fun with this. Yes, the Tampa Bay Rays, they are playing an unbelievable pace right now. Wander Franco fields a ground ball last night against Pittsburgh, and he flips the ball up to himself. I guess he was in rhythm, whatever. He said it felt good. Flips the ball up to himself, throws Brian Reynolds out at first. And then, of course, social media goes crazy. I wake up for my overnight shift. I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's dope. Love Wander Franco. But what are we doing? Look, Nick, I'm going to start this off. I'm a Wander fan. And I don't like doing that. I hate when we do the whole like, oh, I like the person, but it shouldn't matter. Okay. I know we all like Wander Franco. I don't think there's a lot of people out there that don't like Wander Franco. Wander Franco is a great player. Here's where this is how I feel about it. You can do this when you're winning, okay? They're winning. It's great. When you're losing, you cannot do this, okay? You cannot do this when you're losing, okay? I'm surprised he wasn't thrown at. And I'm not a proponent of that. But you know what? I don't know. There's something, and I'm cool with bat flips. I'm cool with bat flips for home runs. That's getting the better of a pitcher. I think baseball, it's really hard to hit a baseball. So once you get a hold of one, even if you're Mark McGwire, I don't care. It's hard to do that. Okay. So little Oakland Athletics preview for you right there. So when you get a hold of one, okay, it's different. But this is just a routine ground ball. Wander Franco didn't need to do this. I think it looks a little young and mature-ish. Fernando Tatis Jr. on the motorcycle, taking steroids, being immature. I don't like it. Look, it's to a certain extent, it's fine because they're winning baseball games and absurd pace. But I wouldn't have been surprised, and I would have sort of kind of been okay. Look, don't throw at the head, right? Do not throw at the head. I get that. But if they throw at him right in the back, give him a little something. Hey, don't play around like that. I'm okay with that. That's where I'm at with it, Nick.
I think you completely missed the mark here. This is awesome. I thought it was awesome what Franco did.
It wasn't that cool.
Relax. It was cool. It was fun. This is fun for the game. This is how you're going to draw more people to the game. Now you're talking about it, right? We're not in this era of he flipped up a ball to himself and still got the guy out. The guy's having fun. The guy a month ago, Franco made a barehanded catch in foul. I believe it was like foul territory or something. Caught the ball with his bare hand. The guy's having fun. The guy can play defense. I don't see a problem with this. I don't see an issue with this at all. I think it's great for the game. I think this is gonna be a clip that's gonna be shown all over the place. Like you mentioned, it already went viral. This is great for baseball. This is gonna get the younger generation saying, "Hey, I'm a fan of this guy, Wander Franco. He can throw a ball up to himself and still throw a guy out from shortstop." Like it's fun. It's fun. Like I don't understand. We have this old man mentality like you. Who wants to throw at him?
I'll let you go. I'll let you go. Speak your piece.
You're saying you want the ball thrown at him. You're surprised he didn't get thrown at. This isn't the 1980s. It's not the 1970s. It's 2023. We're having fun. And Franco can throw the ball up to himself and still throw a guy out. Let him do it. I want to see more players doing it. Franco was not in the wrong at all. He's having fun playing the game. He's 22. He's bringing a breath of fresh air to baseball. It's fun. It went viral. I love it. He should keep doing it.
Listen, man, you got to understand something. I'm with you, man. I've been the past couple of years, I've been all for the bat flips, the pimping home runs.
This is not like even as bad as a bat flip. This is just like showing. This is
bad. I like bat flips. It's different, man. Hitting the baseball is different. Getting a hold of one, it's different. It is different. This is a regular routine ground ball out. You get the ball, you throw it to front. How is it? What do you mean? This is really going to draw more fans. It's going to make, I like
it just went viral.
Well, this isn't the Harlem Globetrotters, man. This isn't the Harlem Globetrotters.
Well, clearly, to Wander Franco it is. To Wander Franco, he can make these ridiculous catches. He can catch a baseball barehanded.
They better keep winning.
No, if he's a great player, great players can do whatever they want. He's a great player. Why not keep doing it?
Yeah, and he look, he needs to stay healthy. Okay, he needs to worry about staying healthy rather than flipping a ball up in the air.
That's not something he really can control as much. Getting hurt, no. He can do this. I hope he does it again. In the next game they play. I hope
someone throws at his side and he doesn't get hurt.
What are we in the 80s? Who cares?
No, I'm not even looking, man. You sound like me. But this is different, man. This is a routine ground ball. It's a regular play. A home run, pimping home runs, different.
So?
It's a different type. Okay, it's different.
I don't have a problem with it.
Baseball play. I know you don't have a problem with it.
If he can make this a routine, throw the ball up to himself and throw the ball over, sure, keep doing it. What's the big deal? I know the unwritten rules. Relax.
You know, I wouldn't have even been mad if Ryan Reynolds went over and said, "Hey, what you doing, bro? Like, what if you ran at him?"
What is he going to do? Throw him out. He threw it. If he wants to take the extra second, throw over, and the guy's safe, that's his fault. That's his fault.
It's
But
like,
if he's gonna throw him out, who cares?
You know what I compare this to? It's a little different, but Artemi Anisimov, I believe he was on the Rangers back in the day, it was like 10 years ago. He scored a goal. He pointed at the net and he said, pew, pew. And everybody and their mother went at him, like the entire New York Rangers team, I believe. I think Anisimov was on the Lightning. It doesn't matter. The entire bench came at him, okay? Like, it's the same type of thing. And I know scoring a goal is kind of similar to a home run in that sense, but like, just that whole thing about like, if Brian Reynolds decided, hey, I didn't like that, let's go. Like, don't be messing around while it's a routine ground ball. Come on, man.
So what? He's having fun. He made it look easier. He made a routine play look even easier, throwing the ball up to himself and getting the guy out.
Oh my God. So you think kids are gonna start doing? I would hate if kids in Little League started doing that. Oh my gosh, no.
So what? That's on their coaches. He is a professional baseball
coaches out
player.
there.
He is in the major leagues. He can do this if he wants. Now, if the Rays tell him to stop it and he stops it, fine. But if they're okay with it and he keeps getting players out like doing these crazy plays, catching balls barehanded, throwing the ball up to himself and throwing guys out, who cares? It's fun. It went viral. It's cool. It brings a little more joy to the game. Like, oh, look at that. That's a cool play he just did, right? I'm not saying for all the younger generation to everyone do this or do it all of the time. But I don't have a problem with it. If he's having fun playing baseball, let him have fun playing baseball. This geezer mentality, oh, you should throw at him because he threw the ball up to himself. Who cares? Who cares? The same thing with the bat flips. Like, who cares? You just got a big home run. You're over at shortstop. You want to throw a ball up to yourself. You want to double pump into your glove. Fine, do it. I don't care. If the guy's still getting out, he's out. He's out. What are you possibly going to do? Like, what? How is this offensive? We can't be this soft. We cannot be this soft.
No, Nick. If you did that to me while on the first base, dude, I'm walking over to you and be like, dude, what are you doing, man? See the Harlem Globetrotters? This ain't the Savannah Bananas.
Okay. Listen. The game must be really easy to Wander Franco if he's throwing the ball up to himself and still throwing guys out.
As long as they keep winning. If he's doing that while they're losing, it's a problem.
Why?
That's all I'm gonna say.
But why?
That's all I'm gonna. What do you mean? Because you got to be focused on winning. Okay.
I don't understand
about the winning.
How is this?
I'm saying if he's doing it while they're losing. I'm saying if he's doing.
Oh, so if they're losing the game, well, But what if the guy's still out?
I think then that reflects the culture of the team and the clubhouse and stuff like that. But I know. I'm just saying if he continues to do this in the future, but I don't know.
I think he might because I mean, like I mentioned, like he's throwing the ball up to himself, he's catching balls barehanded, like clearly has the flair for some cool plays out in the field, right? Like some pizzazz out on defense. I think it's fun. Like
this is Ozzie Smith now. He's not Ozzie Smith now. Like, what is this? It's not that crazy. It wasn't that cool.
It was fun. You can
flip a ball to yourself. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, what's the problem with it?
All right, off the Wander stuff. We're not going to agree here. Agree to disagree, sort of. All right, so Shohei Ohtani, yet another unbelievable stat. It seems like we get one every single day, probably one every single 5 hours, it feels like. So after Ohtani's outing yesterday against the Cardinals, where he didn't have the best outing, still had 13 strikeouts, though.
Still had 13 strikeouts. In 5 innings.
Yeah, in 5. It's unbelievable. I mean, we might argue this in a couple minutes about MVP, but so Ohtani ties Babe Ruth as the only player in AL NL history, I guess, to notch 500 strikeouts as a pitcher and 100 homers as a hitter. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick, what are your just instant reaction, I guess, or initial reaction to it?
Yeah, I mean, like he's doing something we haven't seen ever, like in our lifetimes for sure. Like this is something like our grandparents, our great grandparents saw. Like this is how old.
Well, to you, I'm old enough to have seen it,
right? What? Because you can't throw a ball up to yourself? I don't know. But listen,
if Ohtani throws a ball to himself, it's all right.
Oh, if Ohtani can do it, he's fine. But
Yeah,
Franco,
Otani's an
no,
alien, bro. You can't talk
no.
about Otani like that. It's different. Go ahead.
Listen, yeah, no, he's. I mean, it's a new record like all the time, like you mentioned. There's a new one every day. I mean, but to have like 500 strikeouts and be a great pitcher as well as a great hitter, I the guy's doing something we've never seen, and there's going to be something new all the time when we see him play. Now the question is, how long is he going to be in an Angels uniform, Francisco? How is it going to be for the half of this season? We're going to see it in an Angel uniform. There'll be a new record, and the other half might be in a different uniform. I don't know. I don't know. That's the
I
question.
Yeah, I think just knowing how the Angels work, I think it's gonna play out to the end of the season, and he'll be a
All
free
right.
agent. But
All right.
that's kind of how I see it. But just to kind of like piggyback off what you said, I mean, it's unbelievable what we're seeing, and for him to already be again among the the leaders in pretty much every statistical category, especially like when you look at wins above replacement, he's top 5. It's unbelievable. And as long as he's having these type of seasons, he's probably going to be MVP every single year. It's gonna be like Bonds type of that
Yeah.
type of run where he won 4 straight MVPs.
Yeah.
Like if as long as Otani, knock on wood, fingers
He's
crossed,
healthy.
stays healthy, it's I mean he's going to be well surpassing Ruth in these categories. He's been doing this since 2018 since he came in.
Yeah.
I think Ruth was doing it for about 5 or 6 seasons, and not even at this this rate that Otani's doing it. So
It's a different era. It's a completely
yeah.
different era too. Like so the fact he's doing it in this era of baseball where things are so advanced now, and guys are bigger, faster, and stronger than they were back in the day. Yeah, I
Mhm.
you gotta give him a whole lot of credit. This guy's on a legendary Hall of Fame pace.
I want to say this too, right before we get to our meat and potatoes. Babe Ruth, this is pretty. I think this is cooler than what Wander Franco did yesterday. Babe Ruth was able to do it off hot dogs and beers, man.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's impressive.
That's cool.
That's sick.
Okay. That's sick. That is viral. That is viral worthy. Wander Franco
How
flipping the
is
ball up to himself. Like, where are we at, dude?
you're
Come on.
you're, miscon- you're you have a misconception of the word viral. That's not viral worthy. Beers and hot dogs just because he did it
Yeah, it
on
is. To
there.
see Babe Ruth eating hot dogs and drinking beers before he mashes a bomb. You kidding me? He looks right at the camera. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
then gut, and then
oh, hey, did he have a beer going around first base? Now that could go viral. Have a hot dog and a beer going around first base. That'll go viral. I'll tell you right
Yes.
now. Flip him a beer and a dog as he's rounding first. Yeah, I'm with it. That'll go viral. That's more viral than Wander Franco flipping the ball to himself. That's nothing compared to a beer and a dog going around first. That's fantastic.
He probably did that too. That's
He
the
probably
funny
did
part.
it. We don't have video proof. We need the proof. Got to
We
go
need
get a
it.
time machine. Yeah, hot
Yeah.
dog time machine. What is it? It was hot tub time machine, right? So, yeah.
All right, from hot dog to meat and potatoes. Let's get to. I'm going to read off some of the monthly awards here, Nick.
Mm.
Before we get into our monthly awards, so the American League and National League Players of the Month. Um, no surprise here. Matt Chapman from the Blue Jays, Ronald Acuna Jr. from Atlanta, having an unbelievable season so far. Both of them. The pitchers of the month from both leagues: American League, Garrett Cole; National League, Clayton Kershaw. He's been unbelievable. It's awesome to see. And then rookies of the month on the AL side: Josh Young. Josh Young, is it Josh Young or Josh Young? Nick,
I think it's
do you know?
Jung. Jung.
Jung? I think it's
I
Jung
think
too.
yeah.
I
I think
think
that's
it
what it
is.
is.
I'll double check on that on Baseball Reference. But Josh from Texas, and then National League, James Outman from the Dodgers. It just seems like the Dodgers just always have somebody new every single year. James Outman has been that guy for them. 158 OPS plus. Pretty good for James Outman. And then National League and AL relievers of the month. Felix Bautista from Baltimore, who has just been unbelievable since last season, continuing it this month or the first 30 days of the season. And then on the National League side for the Padres, Josh Hader, who has been probably the best closer in baseball the last 4 years. So no surprise there with those guys. But let's get to Actually, let me get your quick thoughts on the from you, Nick, before we get to our picks here for our layout. What were your initial thoughts to those guys that were named?
Yeah, I thought
Um,
they were the correct picks so far. I mean, listen, you can't go wrong with any of those picks. It's been a fun start. It's been a wild ride to the start of the season. Like a lot we like in our predictions we made, like we thought a lot of teams were not going to be where they're at. Like we mentioned in the open, the Rays still a team that's on top. And yeah, I think it's been a wild ride to start this year. I don't expect all those guys to keep it going, but I think
interesting.
some of them will. Some of them will. I don't think all of them will. I think it's too long of a season. Too long of a season.
Yes, but we'll see. We'll see. So we're gonna do our monthly awards though. We're gonna do like our Cy. So we're gonna go through MVP, Cy
Yes.
Young, Rookie of the Month, Most Improved. I like that you. I like that you picked that one. And then biggest disappointment. I love that one too. Look, you're a creative guy. So good job. You're like that should be more viral than what Wander Franco did.
I
So
agree. It is the shift. You know, he
it's
is the shift. Get us. It's going to be viral no matter what.
exactly. All right, let's work our way up here. I know I'm kind of
Okay.
just going on the fly here. Let's
Okay.
start with biggest disappointment. I want to get yours first, and then I'll give you mine. Biggest disappointment in all of Major League Baseball. We're not just doing AL and NL like separate. We're doing all in one big one. So give me your biggest disappointment so far.
I've talked about him a lot on the show. He gets hurt in the first month. Had I think a lot riding on this season, especially where the Yankees were going to go. Giancarlo Stanton getting hurt, man. I mean, so early in the season. I think that's extremely disappointing because he's been injury prone the past few seasons for a lot of his career, to be honest. But you know, he's a guy that is an important piece to that Yankee lineup, and you know, for him to get hurt so early on with a lot of expectations in New York, to me that was pretty disappointing. And if you're a Yankees fan, it's like here we go again, right, with
Mm-hmm.
Giancarlo Stanton. So for me, he has to be my biggest disappointment so far. I had a few other names I could have considered, but just because he's a guy that's important to that Yankee lineup, he's the meat and potatoes of that lineup in New York. Um, it's disappointing that he already got hurt. You could even make the case
Yeah,
for
that's
DeGrom already started getting hurt
no,
already, but
that's a good point.
you know, he's injury prone, and you know, here we go again, because that's a lot of power missing in that lineup. The Yankees are just kind of hanging around 500 at this point. Wonder what the difference would be if Stanton was in that lineup.
That's a great point there. I'm just looking at the Yankees, where they stand on the leaderboard as far as hitting, 26th in average. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton's not a huge guy that hits for average, but still 28th on base, 23rd in OPS, 23rd in runs scored. They are 10th in home runs, 7th in stolen bases. But you know, you got to believe if Stanton's in that lineup, they're more than top 10 in home runs. They're higher in every category there. So that's a great one. Great pick.
Yeah, I think the impact has kind of been shown so far 1 month in. If he gets back, I think you'll see a difference.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I didn't really think about that as far as the injuries with him and DeGrom too. So my biggest disappointment is somebody that he is on. He's not hurt. Maybe he's just going through a slump, and that's probably the possibility. Um, But this is a guy that, as far as I'm concerned, his tenure with the Cardinals so far has been pretty good. Coming over from Colorado all those years, you know, got the whole contract situation with Colorado, but that eventually gets traded to the Cardinals. Nolan Arenado has been god awful. He has been awful. If you look at just his overall numbers, and I'm a big Arenado guy. A huge Arenado guy. I think any baseball fan is, whether you offensively or defensively, he's probably going to be the best defensive third baseman of all time. I mean, I'm just going to give you his numbers straight up. So he's played 30 games, only a couple of homers, 2 homers, slash line of 244, 295 on base, 328 slugging. My gosh. OPS of just 622. His OPS, if we're, adjusting it to league average, it's about almost 30% under league average. This is a guy that finished third in MVP voting last year. Him and Goldschmidt. I mean, Goldschmidt won MVP. Arenado, third last year in MVP. He's a big reason to why the Cardinals aren't supposed to be the worst team in the National League. Now, they have other problems, pitching problems. You know, Flaherty went out earlier today. He's hurt. Miles Michaelis has not been good. Like the Cardinals pitching, that's a problem. But Arenado is supposed to be a key cog in the middle of that lineup. And for him to be hitting the way he has so far, it's not good, man. It's not good. He's been my biggest disappointment. I would not expect him. And again, it probably most likely is just a slump, but just as far as a month into the season goes, not good so far, Nick Earnshaw.
No, I think that's a great one for this segment. I mean, Arenado, he's he's supposed to be one of the leaders, and he's one of the contributing factors as to why the Cardinals have been brutal the first month of the season. So I think it's just a slump. First month of the season, we could forget about this like by August. He could go on some type of run, and he has that in him. So
He does 100%.
I think it's just it might just be early part of the season. He's just struggling a little bit at the dish. Probably will find his way as the season rolls along, but not a great start if he wants to be in contention for an MVP once again. So I think I think it's just partly because it's the beginning of the year. Guys sometimes start off a little bit cold. He happens to have started off a little bit cold in the month of April. I expect him to turn it around. He's too good not to. It would not shock me if he starts getting on a little bit of a roll as the season progresses. We get into end of May, June, he starts getting it going again.
Yeah, I agree. So let's get to most improved. I'll give you mine first. Now there were a couple of names I thought of, and I'll give you the couple of other ones I thought of as well, because I don't want to leave their names out because they've had good seasons so far. Jorge Mateo for the Orioles has been very good player. He did lead the American League in stolen bases last year, but if you look at his slash line, all of his numbers, as far as they go, his OPS, they're up a lot. So he could have been considered. I thought that the easy answer here was probably Cody Bellinger. And my answer is kind of easy. When I give it to you, you're going to understand why it could be easy in a certain way. But Bellinger's definitely was up for consideration. I'm trying to think of any other players that kind of came to mind.
Don't steal mine.
What is that?
Don't steal mine.
I don't know. We're about to find out. I probably did steal yours.
You might.
He plays for both of our favorite teams. And to a certain extent, this might be easy just because he plays for our favorite team. But
yep.
I thought it was easy, man. Brandon Marsh. I mean, like, for him to go from, if you look at, I can do it real quick. I want to pull up his combined numbers from his first couple of seasons in the bigs from 2021 to 2022. I mean, OPS 12% below league average. Only had 13 home runs, 249 average, just OBP just above 300, and about 200, just over 200 games. Hasn't been he's been a good fielder, but hasn't been a good hitter. For him to go from that to, again, just 30 games into the season, but leads AL in triples, or leads majors in triples, excuse me. His slash line has been unbelievable. 326, 413, 611 slugging, OPS over 1,000. He has cooled off a tiny bit lately, but still the numbers through the first month of the season have been really freaking good. Have been unbelievable. I mean, you could possibly say he's the Phillies MVP so far this season. Maybe him, Castellanos. So I think that says it all right there, man. Like, and I'm pretty sure you had the same guy as me. But I'm sure you can add a little bit to this, just from what you've seen from Brandon Marsh, Nick, because we watch him almost every day that we can. So yeah, I know it's Brandon Marsh, so give me watch Brandon Marsh.
Slam dunk. I mean, this is I figured we'd probably agree on this. He has been unbelievable to start this season. I mean, what is he? Top 10 in average right now. He's top 10 in on base percentage. He's top 10 in OPS. He's top, I believe, 5 in, was it OBP? Or
I mean, either way, I mean, over 400 on base percentage.
He's top 10 in OBP.
I know what you're saying.
He's top 5 in slugging. That's what it was. Top 5 in slugging right now. I mean, you can't. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this jump. This was the concern. This is why the Angels traded Brandon Marsh last year. Right. They got rid of him because they kind of gave up on him. His bat wasn't great. But Kevin Long, man, him and Brandon Marsh seem to have figured it out. Hitting coach of the Philadelphia Phillies. They have really figured it out here. I think Brandon Marsh is the obvious choice. He has been unbelievable to start this season. I mean, nobody would have thought he'd be in top 10, top 5 in these categories. And he is. So I had to go with Brandon Marsh too. I'm glad we're finally in agreement on something.
It only took us a half an hour.
Yeah, it took us 20, literally on the dot.
Hey, look at that.
30
See,
minutes.
I'm nice like that.
Yeah. So listen, Brandon Marsh, easy decision. He's been unbelievable to start this year. Hopefully Rob Thompson keeps him in the lineup every single night. So like, come on.
He's hitting seventh, man. He hit seventh last night or yesterday.
It's
doesn't make any sense.
It is what it is. But Brandon Marsh, definitely a guy you had to have on this list at the most improved.
Yeah. All right. Give me your rookie of the month.
My rookie of the month had to be Corbin Carroll, man. He has had a great start to the season. 31 base hits, 4 home runs, a batting average of 313, 9 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, on base percentage 376, OPS of 912. I think he's had a pretty good start to this season. There's some other young guys you could go with. But he's really done a great job at the dish, getting a lot of base hits, hitting for contact, a little bit of power here and there. And I think he's a guy that's going to be around for a long time. I think you're going to see Corbin Carroll. He's kind of carrying that Diamondbacks team a little bit. I had to go with him as my rookie of the month. He's been he's had a really unbelievable start to the season. And hey, if he can continue it, man, the Diamondbacks, watch out. They got a young stud on their hands out there in Arizona.
Second in the NL West, man. What the heck?
What the heck, man?
Yeah. What the heck? I love your pick. Actually, I really like it. I went with James Outman. Nice. He was named National League Rookie of the Month.
Yep.
Young was a pick too. You know what? I'm clarifying right now. Is it Josh Young or is it Josh Young? Because it's gonna bug me. It says it is Young. There we go.
It is Young.
Done. That's it. That's it.
You're done. Young.
Yes,
Young.
I'm done. Young. Yes.
Young.
All right, so James Outman, look, simply put, top 10 in slugging percentage. He's 13th in weighted runs created plus. This is overall in MLB, not just rookies. You look at his just overall slash line, 290, 382, a slug just under 600 at 598, OPS just under 1,000. A B WAR of 1.4. It's pretty good. That's pretty good for a rookie. It's very good. So, love your pick on Corbin Carroll. I think a different type of player. The speed, different. He's definitely exciting to watch. Really like Corbin Carroll. James Outman, kind of annoying just because like the Dodgers always seem to get these weird guys in some ways. I don't know. Outman's a good player. I'm not saying that, but it seems like it's like James Outman just sounds like a weird player. Sorry.
Yeah, he sounds off. He sounds a little odd, a little obscure.
Outman. Yeah, he's the outman. He's the odd man out.
He's the odd man out. Look at you. Look at you go. The puns today. You're on fire. Absolutely on fire. Yeah, he's had a great. It's an easy choice. Great pick. There's been a lot of good young players to start this year. Wish you could include Adley Rutschman because if he were still considered a rookie, it'd be ridiculous. But he's a young guy. So he's had a great start.
Is Gunnar playing well? I'm trying to look. Gunner's not playing well.
Gunner's
in. Never mind.
Okay.
I want Gunnar to play well. I think we both want Gunnar to play well.
Yeah. I'm all for the O's like having a good year, man. I'm all for the Orioles and those young guys out there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, let's get to Cy Young. So I'm gonna give you mine first. I got Mr. Oxymoron out here, man. I got Mr. Oxymoron. Sonny Gray. Do you get the oxymoron?
Because he tried explaining it to me and I was just not picking up on it
before the show. I said it's not raining out, it's
sunny out.
Right. There you go. But you said, I don't know what you were saying.
I was in another
really
world.
Blanking. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. You're too busy thinking about George Earnshaw.
I am. I can't wait. He's gonna be humming in my lineup.
Oh, so Sonny Gray, get it? Sonny Gray is an oxymoron because it's sunny out, but the gray clouds, Sonny Gray. There you go.
It's bad, man.
No, it's good. It's very good.
It's brutal.
Yeah. So as I was saying, with off my good pun there, or a good oxymoron, Sonny Gray, I just think it's tough to argue. I understand Garrett Cole, understand Clayton Kershaw. I understand who else has been really good so far. Those guys right there. I think you can make the cases for those guys right there. Okay. Cole, but it's tough for me to argue with the 0.077 ERA. It's hard to me to argue with a 2.04 FIP to back that up. Okay. If you look into his deeper StatCast statistics, like hard hit rate and stuff like that, maybe he's not going to sustain this. And he's probably not. I mean, he's not going to have an ERA of under 1. That would just be wild. But he's probably not going to, sustain like a top 3 to whatever, in the leaderboards when it comes to pitching. Okay. But just going off the first month of the season, I'm sorry. A strikeout rate just over 10. It's just tough for me to argue, man. I think he has. I had his numbers in front of me. I think it was his walks per 9, or was it hits per 9? He was leading the majors in that stat too. I have it here. And home runs per 9, he 0. He hasn't given up a home run this year. So there you go. Like I don't know. It's tough for me to argue with those numbers, but you know what? I can also see the arguments for Cole, maybe Kershaw. So Sonny Gray's my pick. Cy Young, for the first month of March/April. So what about you, Jorge Earnshaw?
Yeah. So I had to go with Garrett Cole on this one. Sonny Gray, definitely a player that can
It got Sonny
that
there.
can win. Yeah. Yeah. So with Sonny Gray, I like your pick. I like your pick a lot. I mean, he has, like you mentioned, didn't give up a home run, ERA under 1. Clearly a choice. But I think you got to give credit to Garrett Cole as well. I think he's pitched really well this year. I don't think he's given up a home run either this year. And until his final start on April 27th against the Texas Rangers, he had an ERA under 1 as well. So listen, I think he's pitched really well. He's undefeated. He's given the Yankees a chance to win every time he stepped out there. He's gone over 5 2/3 in every single one of his starts. So listen, I think Garrett Cole's really come back this year. We remember all the stuff with him and the sticky stuff. Is he actually a really good pitcher? All that nonsense. He's kind of proven. Yeah, man. So listen, he's proven this year that he's the guy. He's an ace. I don't think he's given up over 2 earned runs in any start. Has a complete game under his belt. He's pitched really well. He's been a bright spot for that the Yankees lineup as they've been, kind of up and down to start the year. Garrett Cole, man, he's been legit. And I know his ERA is not under 1 like Sonny, but it's right there, and I have to give him credit.
Yeah. All right, give me your MVP.
MVP for me, it has to be Ronald Acuna, man. Acuna, he's been unreal to start this season. Some of the things he's been able to do at the dish, I can't overlook. He's like top 10 in like almost every category. It feels like you just go down batting average. He's third. In RBIs, he's in the top 10, I believe. He's right around there. So, I think, when it comes to a guy like Ronald Acuna, I have to keep him right in there. So he's 28th in RBIs, but an on-base percentage, he's been great. He's second in OBP. In OPS, he's near the top 5 in that. Just across the board in those categories for Ronald Acuna Jr., he's really put together a complete season. So I have to go with Ronald Acuna as my MVP. Guy's been out of his mind, consistent throughout the start of the season. And he's a flashy player. So got to go with Ronald Acuna.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to talk about Ronald just a little more here before I get to my pick, because it's not Ronald, but it's a great pick. I mean,
he leads the league in hits too. I didn't even mention that. He leads the league in hits.
Leads the league in hits, runs scored. I think you mentioned that. Stolen bases, total bases. I mean, this guy could potentially, he almost had a 40-40 season back in 2019. Yeah, I mean, they've been talking about a 50-50 season someday from this guy. I mean, with the new rules, it's possible. He's probably not going to, at least, I mean, he's on pace right now. I'm trying to do it. 6 times 6 would be 36 home runs if we're just going by months. Yeah. It would be, a 36 homer, 80 stolen base season. That's pretty goddamn good. And if he does that, he probably wins National League MVP, especially because Ohtani's not in the National League. Or maybe he'll be by then.
Maybe he will be.
Yeah, who knows? But has it ever happened where an American League guy comes to the National League and they win the MVP? How does that work?
I just thought about that. There's got to be someone, right? Would they win the AL because they started in the year? Like if Ohtani got traded,
I gotta look that up. Look that up. I'm gonna while I'm doing, or I can look it up. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll give you mine. You look that up while I'm giving you mine. Yeah. So I mean, you could probably guess my other one because you had the American National League Player of the Month. I had the American League Player of the Month. I think it's hard to argue with both of these guys. I think you can make an argument for both different types of players, but I just think it's like, it's pretty easy argument when Matt Chapman leads Major League Baseball in doubles, OPS plus, Baseball Reference, WAR statistic, leads American League in batting average, on base percentage, and total bases. And he goes, from a season where I think last year he was okay, right? He had an okay season, but he goes from that to, I mean, he could have talked about most improved players. I mean, Chapman could have even made a case for that. I think it's just tough to argue against Matt Chapman when he's pretty much, the Toronto, they got some dogs over there with Vladdy and Bichette. I mean, Bichette's been unbelievable too. Dalton Varsho, like the Blue Jays are, loaded from top to bottom as far as their lineup goes. But I mean, Matt Chapman has been the horse in that lineup that no one, and we all know he's a good player, especially defensively. He's kind of like a Nolan Arenado 2.0 in a way. And by the way, I don't know if they played on the same high school team at one point, which is pretty insane. I just think Chapman's a pretty easy pick too. I think he could have gone Acuna. I think he could have gone Chapman. I also think I don't want to leave out. There was a couple other guys. Chapman, Acuna. He could have even gone the guy we open the show with, Wander. I mean, if you're one of those people that he's on a good team. Like I'm not into the whole like baseball's too many variables to say like, oh well, your team's playing well. I don't do that whole argument. I think baseball is very singular to a certain extent as a player. I think Chapman, I think Acuna was a good pick. He could have gone Wander maybe too. Sean Murphy's been really good too for Atlanta. I didn't really realize that till today. He's been unbelievable. So I went with Chapman.
So I was doing a little digging. I don't think it's ever happened where they've had the MVP be traded mid-season, which kind of makes sense.
Right.
But Rick Sutcliffe won the Cy Young in '84 after being traded from the Indians to the Cubs. He won the NL Cy Young. He was traded in June.
Work?
Yeah, he was traded in June.
So who was an interesting one? This kind of came to mind. I guess he finished fourth in MVP voting. This is back in 2008 when you were like 4 years old.
Was 8?
You're 8. I know you're
right. You got to go by each year.
Listen, you probably remember this. You remember when Manny Ramirez went from Boston to the Dodgers?
Yeah.
I remember he didn't win that MVP. I think it was Pujols, but he was pretty close. I mean, he went to the Dodgers and he was 17 homers in 53 games, a 400 average almost, a 500 on base almost, like a 1200.
He would have finished. He finished. That was 08, right?
Correct. Fourth.
So
he finished fourth in MVP voting.
He finished fourth in the NL. So I guess it would be the NL.
Why?
If you were to trade, like when you finish, I guess wherever you finish. It's interesting.
Yeah, I guess it hasn't happened enough. I wonder if they would one day consider just having one MVP, but I guess not.
Yeah.
The NBA has one MVP.
So I guess Ohtani would, like, if you were traded to let's say the Mets.
Please no.
MVP.
Please no.
I know. He would win the NL MVP. Right?
I
guess that's how it would go.
I guess. I mean, people would be accepting of that. They'd be like, it's Ohtani.
It's Ohtani. It's all right. It's fine.
Take
away from like a guy like Acuna if he if he continues on his
35 homer, 80 stolen base year. Imagine that.
Jeez.
All right. So I like that segment. Good job. That was a great job of you coming up with that idea.
It was fun. That was a fun segment.
Okay. Let's get to the real fun.
Let's get to the real segment.
Let's wrap up the meat and potatoes today. Dun dun dun. Oakland Athletics.
Yes.
For our all-time lineup.
So excited.
I'll hand you the reins to start here first, sir. Again, we'll go position by position. We'll go back and forth, and then we'll go to our lineups. By the way, do we have a DH today? We didn't discuss this before.
I went DH.
I did too. Okay, good.
I went DH.
Good.
I did go.
American League.
Go DH.
Good. All right. So give me your Oakland Athletics all-time catcher.
All right. I have to go with Mickey, man. Mickey has to be the catcher. Mickey Cochran. I had to go with him. I think this was a pretty easy one. I'm sure you have the same. Not too many fantastic catchers in the Oakland A's in the Oakland A universe. So I went with Mickey as my catcher.
Yeah, so this is who I went with as catcher. I did not have Mickey Cochran. It was not Jason Kendall. Wow. He also played for the Oakland Athletics.
Wow.
It was not Ramon Hernandez either. It was not.
Wow.
It's Jimmy Fox. Okay?
He put Jimmy Fox as a catcher?
He's a catcher. Look, man, we're gonna get to it in a second. We're gonna wrap up the lineup. Goodness. I had to move some players around because you know what? I wanted to get my value where I can get it. If I could put Jimmy Fox at catcher to have so and so at first base, and I'm gonna tell you in just a second.
I have an idea of what you're doing here. Oh,
okay, I'm glad you have an idea. But this is how you stack your lineup, baby. Okay. This is how people. You know where I got this idea from? MLB The Show. People do this in Diamond Dynasty. Jimmy Fox,
you did.
Because you could have secondary positions and you could put Jimmy Fox at first base. Like, no, you know what? Let me put 99 overall Frank Thomas at first base so I can have Jimmy Fox as my starting catcher. That's what I'm doing here. I'm doing my MLB The Show lineup. Jimmy Fox is my catcher. You can't mess with my picture, bro.
No, Mickey's catching. Mickey's catching for me.
Jimmy's catching, buddy. All right, go ahead. First baseman.
Jimmy Fox. Jimmy Fox is going to be my first baseman. He's playing first for me. I'm sorry. Jimmy Fox is playing first.
Damn. Jimmy Fox is first. My team is going to be destroying your team.
Oh, no, it's not. Not even close. Not with my starting pitcher.
Yeah. Oh, it's over. It's over. It's over. All right. I'm going to give you my first baseman. He is a former MVP. I believe he won MVP in 2000. I believe for the Oakland Athletics. I think he got traded before the Moneyball days because they got Mr. Scott Hatterberg. Jason Giambi. Jason Giambi. He short tenure with the A's.
Short.
Very short, like 3 or 4 years. But those prime years, I get it. He juiced. There's a couple other guys that juiced him in my lineup, but probably in your lineup too. Jason Giambi, I believe his MVP year, he hit like 43 homers. By the way, very undervalued players sometimes. I think when we look back on like incredible players, like if you look at the deeper metrics, like people didn't appreciate like his OPS was just off the charts for those 3 seasons I'm looking at even with his when he was the Yankees, he was a monster too. But those couple of seasons with Oakland, he was just a monster. Just looking at his OPS, batting average. I mean, he was a power hitter that was hitting for average and getting on base in an absurd clip, almost 500 on base percentage. I mean, he was unbelievable in the late 90s, early 2000s, man. So Jason Giambi was my first baseman. I want to know who your first baseman is.
It was Jimmy Fox. Jimmy Fox, my first baseman.
Oh, you said it already.
I'm sorry. Jimmy Fox.
I was so caught up in Jimmy Fox should have been your catcher. He should have been your
catcher. Because you want to put Giambi in there. I'm fine with that. I'm fine if you want to move Jimmy to catcher to whatever. You know, I don't know how great you're going to be behind the dish, but you know, I want Jimmy at first.
Well, the reason why I asked you there again because I wanted to make sure. I wanted to give you a second chance to say that it was Jason Giambi and that you're going to flip your catcher back to Jimmy Fox. So I was just testing you there.
No, Jason. We'll get to it.
Give me second baseman.
Eddie Collins, second baseman for me. You know, I had to go back. We had to go way back. Two stints with the A's, 1906 to 1914 and 27 to 30. Played with my starting pitcher as well. So Eddie Collins.
God, this is embarrassing. I'm with you though. Eddie Collins is my second baseman. At third base, I had Mr. Home Run Baker. Home Run Baker, baby.
All right.
It's it's a little weird, and I guess you can kind of say the same about like guys like anybody that played pre-integration. But Home Run Baker, he did lead the American League in home runs 4 straight years, 11, 10, 12, and 9. Had a very good OPS, with his tenure with Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Athletics back from 08 to 1914. There were other picks. There were a lot of other guys I was considering. Eric Chavez, honestly, I think is an underrated third baseman when it comes to the Athletics. Josh Donaldson, very short stint with the Athletics, but when I think of third baseman from the A's, he's, recency bias I get. So Josh Donaldson was one. Eric Chavez. There was one, I think it was Sal, I forget his name, Sal Padano, I think.
Sal Bando.
Sal Bando. Is that your guy?
Sal Bando.
Sal Bando.
Well, it was Sal Bando, man.
Part
of those 3 World Series championships with the Oakland A's in the 70s, 4-time All-Star. I need a little contact in my lineup. I'm going Sal Bando for me, and he spent a long time there. I think it was like kind of when they moved from Kansas City to Oakland. He was part of the A's, so I had to go Sal as my third baseman.
Good pick. A little more recent than my home run Baker pick.
Go way back. Listen,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say a lot of these guys on the A's, you're going a little ways back for. So
that's what makes it fun. You mix it up.
Yeah.
Give me your shortstop.
I wonder if you have the same shortstop as me.
Okay.
I wonder. So I went more recent guy.
I know
Miguel Tejada, man.
I was considering it.
Miguel Tejada is my shortstop.
There.
Oh, I had to do it, man. Miguel Tejada
was fun.
He was a fun player. Had to add him. He played kind of all over the place, but kind of ended his career in Oakland. I could not take him, man. The guy was a great shortstop. Played a little third base as well throughout his career. He started his career with Oakland, right? Yeah, he started.
I was gonna say,
right? He started with it. Yeah, I meant he started with Oakland. So listen, he's a guy I had to go with. Mr. Consistent. Played almost every game, like every year. 01, 02, he played every single game. Like, that guy's in the lineup every single night. Multiple seasons with over 100 RBIs. Miguel Tejada is my guy, man. It's short. Gotta have him in the lineup.
That's a great pick. I was right there.
Okay.
But I like my pick too, obviously.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do.
I
wouldn't expect anything else.
Right. I have Bert Campaneris. He was an Oakland Athletic from 68 to 76.
Okay.
Different type of player. Did not hit for power like Tejada did. Like Tejada was hitting for power when it was Garcia, Parra, Jeter, and A-Rod were the big guys. And Tejada was a guy that was – I love your pick. And I'm almost like kind of supporting your pick. But at the same time, if you look at Bert Campaneris, I mean, the guy was stealing bases left and right. He wasn't the greatest hitter, but I like someone quick in my lineup, I guess. He wasn't I feel like you're kind of swaying me here. I feel like I kind of want to go with Miguel Tejada.
I had to go with
I feel like
man.
I didn't want to. I'm going to change my pick.
All right.
Good for you. You made me change it.
Look at this.
Like,
this is a shift first.
I thought when I was looking at his numbers, he was a better hitter. Bert Campaneris, I gotta take a best. I'll go with Tejada just because of one MVP.
My soft spot,
you
man.
know what?
My soft spot, Oakland A's.
Yeah, I'll go with Tejada. I had to rearrange my lineup.
There you go.
Okay.
I like it, man.
On the fly. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, this is the only time it's ever gonna happen.
On my Oakland A's. I love the little brothers of Philadelphia, the Oakland A's and Philadelphia baseball. Yeah, hey, yeah, it is what it is. You gotta have Tejada in there.
But by the way though, okay, I'd have Campaneris coming off the bench just so I can pinch run for him. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
He has like 500 career stolen bases.
Yeah, that's cool. We can do that. Do that.
Yeah, but Tejada, I'm agreeing with you on Tejada. I don't know. Something was like swaying me to not pick Tejada. I thought it was an easy pick because he was the first one that came to mind. I was like, I shouldn't pick Tejada.
It's the right pick.
Tejada.
It's the easy pick.
Yeah. All right, relax.
Where were we?
I'm gonna give you outfield.
We're in the outfield now, aren't we?
Yeah, I'll give you my 3 outfielders, then I want to hear yours.
All right.
So I guess I'll go left to right. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm gonna go Ricky Henderson on left. Center field, I'm gonna go Jose Canseco.
Oh, you put Jose in center.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that doesn't really. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
And then right field, I have Reggie Jackson.
We have the same 3 in the outfield this time.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Thank God. Then we don't have to argue over freaking outfielders.
I had Canseco in left, Ricky in center, Reggie in right.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. As long as they're in the outfield, I guess they all know how to play the outfield. Whatever.
Yeah,
they're all not. They weren't. I don't think they were all really that good fielders, were they?
They were fine. I think they were fine.
I know. Canseco was bad. Remember, Canseco got the ball hit his head.
Did Ricky? Let me check.
I don't even remember if Ricky was a good fielder or not.
Check.
But yeah, Ricky obviously he's easier in your lineup because it's Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, you can't have him not in the lineup.
Who was your designated hitter?
Mark McGuire is my DH.
Me too.
All right. I was thinking like I could have went. I think it's pretty easy. Like Giambi. The only thing was Giambi, man. I wanted to try and get Giambi in there. I couldn't put. I had to put Mickey in the lineup.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Unlike you.
No. I changed my pick with Tejada. You changed your pick with Fox, the catcher.
No, I'm not putting Jimmy at catcher. I'm not doing it. He's not catching for George, man. He's not catching for George. He's playing first.
You don't want an all-time Hall of Famer catching for you. You'd rather have Mickey Cochran.
He's playing.
I think he's a Hall of Famer too. I think Mickey's a Hall of Famer too.
Yeah, I think he is.
Screw you. All right.
No, Ricky won a Gold Glove. Ricky did want to win a Gold Glove. I thought he did.
Yeah, whatever. Gold
81.
Gloves. Gold Gloves. You know how they pick Gold Gloves, dude? The Gold Gloves aren't even.
Hey, that's still something. You gotta be decent.
God, Rafael Palmeiro won Gold Gloves and he didn't deserve them all. Okay, so let's get to your starter. Get it out the way. Go with your father's father.
Listen, so we all know the man, the myth, the legend. He's in a Cardinals uniform in this one. He's his final year. George the Moose Earnshaw, right here, man. Right there. George the Moose.
It's pretty awesome.
Starting pitcher. Listen, you hate him because he wins.
I don't
games.
hate him.
You hate him because he won 20 games in 29. He won 24 games in 29. 22
Give me a
games
stat that matters that he has. Give me a stat
21.
No, give me a stat that matters.
21 wins in 1931. The guy just won games for you. And listen, he has 2 World Series rings. He finished 11th in the MVP voting in, I believe it was 1931. George the Moose, man. Gotta have him. In as my starting pitcher, man. George the Moose Earnshaw. The starting pitcher.
Moose.
I want him on the mound. He's gonna go win you a game.
Well, I'm about to. Oh my God, my team is dismantling your team. This is absurd. I appreciate your help with the Tejada pick, but Lefty Grove, dude. I mean, it's not even.
They were.
By the way,
they were the 1-2
punch.
Yeah,
Lefty Grove was incredible. Look, he was
the ace. Listen, you could have gone.
Go ahead.
Lefty was the ace of the staff. I'll give you that. Lefty was the ace, but number 2 was George in their World Series years. Come on,
you want number 2?
I want George, man. It's in the blood.
That family tree. I get it. You want the family tree.
I think he had more. He led the league in wins that year in 29.
Yeah, he led the league in a meaningless stat.
Dude, he also led the league in walks too. He gave up.
That's great stat. Great. So, see, wins don't matter. They see. Jesus. All right. So I want to go off this though. You could have had Barry Zito over Jorge Earnshaw. You could have had Mark Mulder. You could have had Tim Hudson. You could have had Dallas Braden. I'll take his perfect game over him. You could have had Dave Stewart, right? Dave Stewart. Could have had Dave Stewart. Yeah. You could have had Mason Miller recently.
No.
You could have had him. Okay.
No, the Moose is my starting pitcher. I can't go against
Bassett. You could have
can't go against the family. You can't go against the family.
La Familia. Okay, whatever. You go with Jorge Earnshaw. My team is destroying your team. Go with your closer. We probably have the same closer, but just tell me.
So yeah, I'm sure we did. So who's your closer? I want to hear it. I want to make sure we.
So it was Blake Trinan. I'm just kidding.
Dennis
Eckersley.
You went Eckersley? Yeah, I got to go with Eckersley. You could have went Rolly Fingers too. You could have went Fingers.
Raleigh.
I said I'm thinking of the Rolly James Harden gave Joel Embiid the other day. Raleigh Fingers. That's what I meant, man.
Oh my God, my Sonny Gray oxymoron was so much better than that. So
rolling.
Keep rolling. All right, so let's give me.
Eckersley was my guy too.
Yeah, Eckersley. Yeah, round it out. All right, give me. Do you have a lineup set or no?
I do. Okay. I actually came prepared today.
Look at you. All right, give me that 1 to 9.
All right, Ricky's leading off. I got Eddie Collins batting second, Fox batting third, McGuire batting fourth, Reggie Jackson batting fifth, Canseco sixth, Tejada seventh, Sal Bando eighth, and Mickey. Mickey eighth, and then Sal Bando ninth.
Good lineup. I think the first three are the same. Ricky leading off, Eddie batting second, Fox the catcher batting third, fourth Reggie Jackson, fifth Mark McGuire, sixth Jose Canseco, seventh Jason Japp. My God, it's gonna destroy George Earnshaw. Eighth Miguel Tejada, ninth Dinger Baker.
Dinger.
You like that?
Batting eighth. Oh goodness. We'll have this out on social media very quickly.
Yes.
Well, this one we're gonna get out.
Oh yeah, get George Earnshaw's face is plastered on your lineup.
Yeah.
It is not even the lineup, just his face.
Boom, right there.
All right. Let's that was the meat and potatoes. That was very delicious. Let's get to our closeout bets of the day, Nick. I'll give you my two, then you give me, I don't know, however many you want to give. We didn't even discuss how many we're gonna do. I'll just give you two.
Today.
You have three? Okay. So we can you can give three, I'll give you two. This is for tomorrow. Because a lot of games have already been played today. I think every game has been played at this point. I think there's one game going on right now, I believe. I think it's Toronto and Boston. So for tomorrow, I have Vladdy Jr. plus 430 to hit a home run off Brian Bayo. Is that happening right now, or is that that's tomorrow, right? Bayo is on the mound against. Yeah, no, that's happening tonight. So I'm sorry. I'm giving you a bet that you can't really do because it's happening right now. But I will give you one for tomorrow. I have the Pirates and the Blue Jays tomorrow, right? I think it's Pirates and the Blue Jays.
It's Pirates Blue Jays. Pirates Blue Jays
tomorrow. So Pirates Blue Jays. I have Pirates just got swept, but they're gonna get back on track. Take the plus 1.5 spread and over 8.5 total runs, plus 230 for the Pirates to win that game. So that's my one bet. So there you go.
All right, I like it. Yeah, I'll give you. So I'll give you a Zach Wheeler take the over in strikeouts against Boston. Definitely, he's on the mound tomorrow against Chris Sale. Definitely like that one. And then I'll go with where's the other one I had? So the Yankees and Rays tomorrow. Johnny Brito's on the mound. Wander Franco over 1.5 bases. Definitely take that for sure. It's the Wander Franco show today. So 1.5 bases for Franco tomorrow. And then I also went with Ronald Acuna over 1.5 bases against the Baltimore Orioles as they play Dean Kramer. Definitely a favorable matchup there on Friday.
Nice. Okay, so those are our bets for today. Hey man, this was a great show today. That was very fun. That was extremely fun. So we did our A's lineup. We argued about Wander Franco to start the show. Talked about another insane Ohtani stat. One of the must-see TV when it comes to Major League Baseball. I really think it's Connor McDavid, Shohei Ohtani, Patrick Mahomes, and maybe in basketball you can throw Giannis in there or LeBron, whatever. So I think those are the must-see TV right there. Ohtani's right a part of that. We give our monthly awards. Give us your monthly awards. We want to hear your monthly awards. Your MVP, Cy Young, Rookie, Most Improved, and Biggest Disappointment for the month of March/April. So there it is, Nick. That's going to do it for us. Nick, we'll be back next week, and we'll choose another team. Maybe take a break for maybe a couple of weeks and then come back to the all-time lineup. So we'll do one more next week, and we'll figure that out off the air. We will figure it out. So that's going to do it for us. Nick, close me out, bro. I know I usually do closeouts, but I'm going to spur you on the spot here to close us out.
You guys have been listening to The Shift. Francisco Rojas, Nick Earnshaw. Follow the Twitters at Rojas_media_Nern_9. Follow The Shift as well. Subscribe on YouTube. That's it for us, everybody. We'll see you next time.